Hi, my name's Megan. I'm a third year, third grade teacher. Welcome to my classroom. So as I said in my last video, my classroom has changed around a ton from the last time that I recorded, which was way back in September. And here I am in November trying to get better about recording the things that are happening in the classroom. So I'm gonna take you on a mini tour of the things that have changed since the last tour video. From the start, you'll notice that my entire far side of my room has changed. So my desk and the Promethean board have flip-flopped. My Promethean board used to be here and the carpet was on the ground, and we got new iPads, and for state testing this year we need to type our responses, and my kids have never had keyboards before, so we're doing a lot of practicing with typing. And because of that, they need to sit in the proper position. So I had kids laying on the ground, their hands were like at the same height, and it just wasn't working. They're sitting there and they're plucking away even though we have a typing program. So I decided we need to have more spots where they could sit at a desk or sit in a chair or sit with the correct posture in order to type. I don't know why that affects the Promethean board, but really what happened is that they needed to be able to sit at their desk and see the board. So I've been using my Apple TV a lot more too and projecting on both screens so the kids can sit anywhere as long as they can see those boards and practice their typing skills. And along with that, one of my coworkers has a table that they sit on the ground at. And when I student taught, we used flexible seating. And I really just liked that the kids were making those choices and were making conscientious decisions about their learning. So they had an extra table like this, so I got that. The yellow spots represent where they can sit because the first day they just got to sit there. And I had all 20 of my kids trying to pack into this table, which obviously did not work. So they can sit there or they can sit at their desks. Ideally, I'd really like to get rid of like 4 more desks and get a giant long rectangular table in the middle. But we'll see if that happens or not. They can sit anywhere they want. So my table is a choice. It really forces me to make sure my table is clean. They can sit at another person's desk. And I actually got rid of 4 desks. So I have 4 students that no longer have a desk, and I keep all of their materials down here. I chose 4 kids that were really organized so that I knew that they could keep their materials organized in a space that wasn't a desk area. We have a really big conversation as a class of like, what does it mean to be a learner? What does it mean to make good decisions about learning? And that just because they can sit anywhere in the room doesn't mean that they necessarily should. And the kids have really taken that to heart. They really try to pick a spot where they can sit next to a friend or sit in a spot that they're comfortable, but they know that as soon as they get 2 warnings, they're back at their seat. And being back at their seat isn't a punishment. It's a spot that they know how to learn at because it's all they've ever had the choice to learn at. So it's kind of like their safe space. And later in the day, the next day, they'll get the choice to sit wherever they want again, but they need to be smart about that decision to make sure that they're still being a good learner, even though their learning spot doesn't look like it always has. Because the board is up here, the library just didn't really work taking up all that space. So I turned the library, and now there are 3 learning spots there, which has worked really well. They can sit there. It's not ideal because their knees hit the back of the library, but the kids really enjoy sitting there. Sometimes they sit crisscross in their chair, and they really enjoy that. I've had these labels printed since August, and it's recess, and I finally had next week all planned, so I decided to put my new labels on them. I had other labels. They looked like this. They were fine, but these ones match my book bins. So I got them all put on. So now all of my labels all match. That is type A teacher at its finest with type B attitude, since I've only had them printed for 3 months without putting them on. Hooray. We also had someone from NASA come and visit our school today, and it was so cool. The kids really enjoyed learning about what space looks like and what happens like on the International Space Station. We got all these really awesome things. This is just the teacher one, but the kids got one too that had worksheets and some posters and things. Really, really cool presentation, and I'm really happy that someone from our school made this happen for us. These have been really good changes for our classroom, and the students have done a really good job rising to the occasion of finding a good learning spot, knowing what a learning spot is, being able to recognize if they're not being the best learner that they can be. A lot of kids will change seats partway through a lesson because they get distracted or they can't focus where they are, and that's really a cool feeling to see. And in conferencing with them after, they can like explain to me exactly why that spot at that moment wasn't good for them. But later I'll see them sitting in that spot and they'll tell me that they could focus there now, like it was just the content area or the person that was sitting next to them or things like that. And we had a really big discussion about like, okay, but you can't just up and move your spot because you want to. Like, it would be really distracting if everyone just got up every 2 minutes because they wanted a new seat to sit in. And what does it look like when you need to change your spot? And the kids do a really good job of following those expectations without reminders, which is awesome. Make sure you like and subscribe so that you can get the updates on what a 3rd grade room in New York State looks like, and check in with our class as we work through that. See you later.